So sources are saying that the Buffalo Bills are interested in a trade for Jadeveon Clowney. Well, I think the Bills may be interested in a trade, but I don't think that's the guy. Welcome to Believers Talk for a trade rumor edition of Believers Talk, where we go a little bit in depth and see what Brandon Beane might be thinking before the start of the 2019 season. Guys, speaking of the 2019 season, as many of you already know, I am teaming up with Hashtag Sports to give you live game-by-game analysis and coverage. So make sure that you subscribe to Believers Talk. Go over to Hashtag Sports. If you haven't already, subscribe to Hashtag Sports, and then down in the description below, make sure you go check out sportscaster.com, where again we will be streaming every single Buffalo Bills game this season, giving you live play-by-play and reactions. So hit that link. Also in 2019, we are teaming up with www.bewarethestampede.com to give you the best Buffalo Bills coverage we can. Guys, that's just some of the things happening in 2019 here on Believers Talk. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, leave a comment, tell me what you think about the trade rumors involving the Buffalo Bills. Guys, we heard yesterday that sources said that the Buffalo Bills are close to a trade with Jadeveon Clowney of the Houston Texans, and I came out and tweeted that I just don't think that's accurate. As the day went on, we haven't heard anything else about that potential trade, so I'm just saying I don't think that is an accurate rumor. I think that, if a team wanted to trade for Jadeveon Clowney, they would have done so when they could have extended him beyond this year. Remember, this year Jadeveon Clowney is playing under the franchise tag. Now, if he's listed as the linebacker or defensive end, that's still to be discussed, but that's not our problem, nor do we want to make it our problem. How much are you willing to give up? And this is a question Brandon Beane would have to ask. How much are you willing to give up for a one-year guy? Because that's all you have him for. That's the only guarantee you have him for 1 year. And do you want to pay up to $19 million for that guy? We were talking about a trade with the Houston Texans. Well, obviously his value depreciates knowing that he might be a 1 year rental. But how much does it depreciate? Guys, I'm thinking about it in my head, and I don't care how good the player is. If you're talking about a 1 year rental, I mean, I'm reluctant to give up a third round pick, maybe a fourth round pick, and obviously Houston's gonna ask for more, but I just have a hard time with the 1 year rental, knowing you're paying him that kind of money and knowing that I might not be back next season, to be able to say, hey, let's give a first or second round pick for that guy. Just not worth it to me. But you can let me know in the comment section, what do you think? Do you think trading for Jadeveon Clowney would be a smart move, a good move? Obviously would help our defense this season, right? As long as he fits into McDermott's scheme, Leslie Frazier's scheme, then obviously will do nothing but improve this defense. But again, you could argue that this defense has the #1 defense already. Why would you want to try to mess with that? We've seen it before. Talent doesn't always equal to good team play on the field if you get too much of it, or if they don't mesh together. So why would you risk that for, again, a 1 year player? I just don't think it's worth it. But again, let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think trading for Jadeveon Clowney would be worth it for just this season? But as I said yesterday on Twitter, we all know Brandon Beane is constantly looking to improve this team, which he should be. He should be. And we appreciate that from this regime. We've seen it multiple times. And we've just seen a trade, right? The Buffalo Bills just traded Eli Harold to the Philadelphia Eagles to pick up Ryan Bates, right? So we know that they have it in them to do it. But are the Bills going to do it? That's a good question. I don't know if the Bills are going to trade this season, but I do have a trade partner, and I do have a player of interest that I would want to get. Listen, we have looked pretty good so far in OTAs, in training camp, and also now in those 2 practices we had with the Carolina Panthers. We've looked pretty good, but we have been saying the same thing consistently. Minus John Brown and Cole Beasley, our wide receivers keep dropping balls. Even John Brown and Cole Beasley have fell for that bug a couple times this offseason. So we need to get wide receivers in here who will not drop passes. We know that Josh Allen already has some accuracy issues. So what we don't need is for when he puts it on the money for the wide receivers to drop the ball. We need to get his confidence up as a young quarterback and keep it up if we can. So I'm looking at that wide receiver position and I'm saying, you know what? Let's improve there. Yes, I know our wide receiver room is full. Yes, I know it's already going to be some tough decisions. But if all a trade for wide receiver does is perk up the ears of the other wide receivers, make them try a little bit harder, make them focus more on not dropping balls, then isn't it worth it? You think about the depth we have at some positions, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And I know some people are fans of some of the other players on defense. And that's okay. I mean, I'm a fan of them too, obviously. We have, again, potentially the best defense in the NFL coming into the season. But if we can use that depth to get better on offense, wouldn't that be worth it? Again, I'm not sure who we would trade from the depth. I look and I know we have depth at defensive end, possibly, even though we did just get rid of Eli Harold. We have depth at the linebacker position. I know someone would get upset if I mentioned like a Tyrell Dotson or something like that in a trade, but we do have that depth there, right? So what are we looking for? Looking for wide receiver. What teams are pretty wealthy at wide receiver? Well, according to rumors, there have been 2 teams that have been contacted by multiple teams in the NFL. And that's the Indianapolis Colts and the Minnesota Vikings, okay? And there's no report saying who teams are asking about or what they're willing to give up. But if you look at the Indianapolis Colts, right, they already have T.Y. Hilton. We know about that. They signed Devin Funchess during the offseason. So that's going to give you your 1-2 punch. They also drafted Paris Campbell out of Ohio State this past draft. So who does that leave out? Well, I'm looking at Chester Rogers, wide receiver of the Indianapolis Colts, who might be available. Not a big name, but if you look at his stats, consistently improving in the Indianapolis Colts offense, and that's with a little bit inconsistency at the quarterback position. Now, last season Andrew Luck was there, but I'm talking about seasons prior. Andrew Luck hasn't always been there. You've had Jacoby Brissett there a couple times, other quarterbacks who have filled in. So you look at Chester Rogers. I'm going to talk a little bit about Chester Rogers again. Currently with the Indianapolis Colts. He went to Grambling State University. That's where he went to college. He was an undrafted free agent in 2016. So we're still talking about a young guy, right, who can make a difference. Only been in the NFL a couple years, 16, 17, and 18, so 3 years. In his NFL career, 41 games, 16 starts, 95 receptions, 1,042 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So not too bad. Now you look at just last year, 16 games, 53 receptions, 485 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So again, not that bad. Consistent improvement. Young wide receiver we can get in there who might be on the trading block, given what the Indianapolis Colts have done at wide receiver. Who does not drop the ball that much. I looked at his stats last season. I didn't see any drops listed. I'm sure someone will do a little bit more digging and maybe find 1 or 2. But I really like this guy. I think he could automatically go in as the number 3 guy, right? Automatically go in and be our number 3 wide receiver. And then you're looking at Zay Jones and saying, hey, are you going to step up? You're looking at Robert Foster. You're saying, hey, are you going to step up? If this trade makes them step up, again, to me, it's worth it. We get rid of a depth guy, maybe. Again, I think the Indianapolis Colts could use a linebacker. The Indianapolis Colts could use defensive line help. So, we give up something like that. We pick up Chester Rogers. If all he does is make our wide receivers better, make our wide receivers more focused, maybe that would be worth it. So that is a trade that I would love to see. Again, Minnesota has been called to 2. People have been talking about Treadwell as well, wide receiver for Minnesota, former first-round pick, I believe. So look at that name too. Treadwell, 6'2". So you're talking about a little taller receiver. The Bills have talked about how we don't have, and fans know, we don't have that taller receiver, right? That's why everyone loves Duke Williams, because he's 6'2". Go up maybe and get it. Well, here's a guy Minnesota, you talk about Minnesota having a plethora of receivers, and then you talk about Treadwell being there, former first-round pick. Maybe he's the one we look at as well. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think the Bills trade before the season starts, A? And B, if they trade, what position do you think they trade for? Do you think I'm crazy here, or do you think I'm on to something? Because again, all we've heard through training camp, through OTAs, and through these 2 practices with Carolina Panthers, Bills players keep dropping balls. Bills wide receivers keep dropping balls. That can't happen. We can't allow that to continue to happen without some sort of repercussion. And maybe that repercussion is bringing in another player. You know, I am a fan of Zay Jones. But if he's not going to make that catch in that first preseason game, if he's not going to try to catch the ball, he needs to go. I'm a fan of Robert Foster. If he's not going to give 100% every single play during practice, during OTAs, during training camp, during games, he needs to go. That's just the bottom line. That's how I see it. We need to continue to try to improve this team, and I think Chester Rogers would do that. So again, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Again, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe you think I'm onto something, but let me know. And maybe the Bills are sitting there looking pretty, saying, no, I think we look pretty good. Everything we've heard about those 2 practices with Carolina Panthers says our team's looking good. We'll check it out more tomorrow during that preseason game. But again, like this video, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button, because again, 2019 is going to be a great year. Talk about BewhareTheStampede.com. Talk about our partnership with #sports. Always going to have a good time, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Again, links in the description below to go over to BewhareTheStampede.com. Check out #sports on YouTube, and then check out sportscaster.com/#sports, where we will have you covered throughout 2019. So again, thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Bills trade? Maybe. We'll see what happens. Let me know in the comment section what you think. I'll talk to you soon. Until I do, go Bills.